Keto Queen. I hope you're having a great day. I'm excited to be home tonight. We're making a fast, delicious dinner that you guys might have tried before. Maybe not. Maybe not. And I hope that you guys are excited to see something that's so easy. 4 ingredients to pure deliciousness. Your family is going to love this. We love it. You can do it with pork chops. You can do it with chicken. You can do it with turkey. You can do it with whatever you please. But guys, it's delicious. So as you're jumping on, I would love to know what you're doing for dinner tonight that's low carb or keto friendly. And I am going to show you how fast and easy it is to make a ranch pork chop or ranch chicken or ranch turkey cutlet. You get to decide the meat, but I'm going to tell you, so delicious. We've got 4 main ingredients. We've got our Parmesan cheese, or you can use crushed pork rinds. This is the crust mix. We got Parmesan cheese or crushed pork rinds, seasoned with parsley, and that's it, just seasoned with parsley. And you know, when I season, I like to see the seasoning, so you can see that parsley inside the mix, right? So we got our crust mix, again, crushed Parmesan or crushed pork rinds, grated. I don't know why I said crushed. Grated Parmesan or crushed pork rinds. And then we have our ranch. I'm using Hidden Valley. You can pick the one you love the most. You can pick the one you think is the most perfect, but it's your dish. Ranch and a crust mix. Okay, so we got our ranch, we got the Parmesan, we've got our parsley, and we've got our meats. So I'm using pork chops tonight. We just have boneless, semi-thin pork chops. And guys, what we're doing for a side dish is roasted broccoli. Let me just show it to you. Right now it's in the oven and it's starting to smell so yummy. I can get my voice to work here. Now this broccoli is only going to take about 20, maybe 25 minutes to cook. I've got my oven on 350. We heavily drizzled, I gotta slow down. We heavily drizzled with avocado oil. You can use olive oil if you'd like. And then we salt and peppered. That's it. This is the roasted broccoli that's going to go with this side dish. It's going to be great. I'm so excited to be home to cook because last night I had to work late. Tomorrow night I got to work late. So we're getting it in where we can, right? So we're going to get some roasted broccoli. And some ranch pork chops. So again, for all of you that just jumped on, if you've had this before, I know you loved it. Go ahead and give me some hearts. If you haven't tried this before, I'm so excited for you. Go ahead and share this video, guys, so we can show people how easy it is to choose low carb living. So easy to come home and cook when you have a moment. Now, last night I had to work late. I didn't get home till like 7:30. I was not going to cook that late in the evening. So I scrambled up some eggs. It was fast and easy for me last night, late. I actually stopped and got Ricky a chicken sandwich. So that's how fast and easy. But to show people how quick you can cook at home with 4 simple ingredients. Again, we've got our Parmesan cheese. It's the grated Parmesan, like you would put over pizza. We seasoned that with parsley. So we've got some Parmesan and parsley. And then we've got our ranch, because it's a ranch pork chop. You can also use chicken or turkey. We've got our pork chops, and now we're going to add some salt and pepper. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, salt and pepper your meat. You always want to salt and pepper your meat, and that's what makes it taste great. Let me get a fork. But if you guys have tried this before, go ahead and give me some hearts if you loved it. If you haven't, make sure you share this video so you can come back to it anytime you want to. It'll be right there on your page, and then you can introduce some of your friends to me. So my name is Amy. I live in Tennessee. I've been eating this way for over 5 years now. I love to show people how easy it is to pick low carb meals that you can even eat keto. So I love keto. Keto makes me feel great. I have the most energy when I take the carbs out of my diet. And the difference between keto and low carb is just the amount of carbs. Because if you lower your carb counts super low, I say 20, 25 net carbs a day, then you will create ketones in your body. Now, you have to be pretty strict at it, though. And 5 years in, I have decided that life is too short. So I love to eat keto-ish or more low carb, but I teach both. But the difference is the carb count. So keto is really considered 20 or 25 net carbs, where low carb is anywhere from 50 to 150. So what's the in-between? Keto-ish. That's what I call it, keto-ish. But the difference is your body can't create ketones unless you lower those carb counts super, super low. Now, I have friends who have been following this page for almost the whole 5 years I've been on it, and they have had so much success just choosing lower carb foods. And if you drink my ketones, you'll also see success. But that's not what this is about. We're looking at some ranch chops. So I'm going to put this fork over here out of the way because I don't mind getting my hands dirty. We're going to get our hands a little dirty. We're going to take that pork chop or chicken or turkey, whatever you choose. And we're first going to dip it into the ranch. Now, you're going to have a lot of extra ranch. It don't have to be excessive. You can knock some of that extra off. But you do want to make sure there's ranch on all sides of the pork chop. And then we're going to dip it into our crust mix, which is the grated Parmesan or your crushed pork rinds, whatever you choose. And then we're going to move it straight over into the air fryer basket. Now, I love my air fryer. You can use an oven if you want to, but I love my air fryer basket. My air fryer cooks wonderful. I've had it for a long, long time. It's the Cuisinart TOA60, but you can use whatever air fryer you want. Now, we're going to put this in the air fryer, and I've got it set to 350. Now, the timing is all going to be dependent upon your meat. So, like, these are some pretty thin pork chops. I'm going to cook these for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It's not going to take long at all. If you've got bone-in pork chops or you've got thick pork chops, it's going to take a little longer. So you might want to get you a kitchen thermometer. That way you can check the temperature of your meat to know that it's done, or you can just cut it. It's up to you. I've been doing this so long I can pretty much look at it and tell that I'm all set. So while we are prepping these, we're letting that broccoli cook in the oven. And that broccoli is going to be super delicious with this ranch. It's going to be so good. And you can pretty much make any kind of side dish. There's lots of options for low carb or keto living. The primary thing is to keep it simple. I love to teach simple. So if you're new and you have not gotten my getting started tips before, I'd love to share them with you. Getting started tips is exactly what I did 5 years ago and exactly what I'm doing today. I just keep a watch on my carbs and make sure I'm making each meal simple meals so that I can continue to do this for another 5 years. Like, this is a lifestyle change for me. It is not a diet. I've been doing this for a long time. If it was a diet, then I'd probably be fed up by now, or I would feel deprived by now. It truly is a lifestyle change for me, and I love to teach it because it's delicious and easy to do. So if you need those getting started tips, just put getting started in the comments and I will send them to you. If you've tried this before, I would love to know if you love it. And I'm fixing to come check my comments because my hands are really nasty right now. I'm going to have to wash my hands. You just want to make sure you've got ranch on all sides of the pork or the chicken or the turkey or whatever you're using. I've never done it with anything else. All right, and then we're going to knock off the excess and then put it into the batter. The batter, again, is grated Parmesan cheese. You also can use crushed pork rinds. And we just seasoned that with parsley. You can season it with other things too if you want to. You could add some oregano, make it a little ranch Italian. But we just did some parsley. We salt and peppered the actual meat. And here we go. I've got my air fryer full, and this is why I love my air fryer, and it's dirty. Forgive me, it's dirty. I'm not a perfectly clean person here. But we've got our air fryer basket full of the ranch chops. So I'm going to go ahead and put this inside, wash my hands. We'll check on that broccoli first before I start it, because I want my broccoli to be done at the same time. Let me wash my hands, and I'll be right back. Man, that coffee shop is crazy. All right, so I know I'm going to have some people jump on here and tell me that the Hidden Valley Ranch is not good for me and it's got all the bad oils in it. It's okay. I'm not drinking it. You saw I just dipped my pork in it. There's lots of options. If you don't like Hidden Valley Ranch, get your own ranch. But I think if you can make a better choice, good. So you've got good, better, and best options every single meal. I do not mistake good for perfect. If I can eat perfect, great. But most of us are not going to eat perfect every single meal. So I know some of you guys are going to tell me that the Hidden Valley Ranch is not good for me, and it's okay. I chose to have it tonight, and I'm not drinking it. I'm dipping my pork in it. All right, let me see what you guys got going on. I'm so excited. Hey, Kim, how are you? You haven't caught me live. It's been crazy. Yes, and this is an oldie but goodie. I love it. You haven't caught me live in a long time, and I'm cooking something you've already seen 100 times probably. Chicken Alfredo over zoodles sounds amazing, Delilah. Hey, Tina, how are you guys doing? I see Sandra on there. Hey, Rosalie, I hadn't talked to you. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Let's see if you guys have any questions for me. Deborah's just getting started. I see a lot of people asking for those getting started tips. That's awesome. I love pork chops. So we eat a lot of pork chops at our house because I love pork chops. Oh, Sandra just drank a Maui punch at 4 p.m. here. She won't go crazy with energy. You might. You might. Do you have a tray under your air fryer? Yes. So, Sandra, this is just a typical air fryer. So, no, it doesn't have a tray. Yeah, it does. I just set my basket inside that tray. I have an extra basket that I bought. This basket came from Amazon. I just went in and searched non-stick air fryer basket for a Cuisinart and found the one that would fit mine. What's wrong with Hidden Valley? Oh, nothing's wrong with it, Emily, as far as I'm concerned. Some people will look at it and say, oh, that's not the best for you because when you read it, it's got soybean oil in it, and that's not great. But again, I'm not guzzling it. I'm just dipping my pork chop in it. I want to have enough that's on a pork chop, and I'm going to eat 2 pork chops. All right, let me check out my broccoli real quick. Ooh, it's smelling good. It is smelling good. Now, you guys know when me and Ricky roast our vegetables, I really like to see it brown. Like, I don't want it mushy. When you stick a fork in it, it's done. I can tell just by looking at it, it's not done. But I will get it soft enough that my fork puts in it or goes into it, and I'll know that it's getting close. Or you can even take it out at that point. It is done as soon as it's soft enough for a fork. But I don't want to start my pork chops yet. So if you guys have questions for me, put them in the comments. Otherwise, you're going to see the plated dinner when we're done. Let me put this back in so it'll keep on cooking. Now with that broccoli, I've got my oven on 350. And we just put the fresh broccoli on the baking sheet. And I heavily drizzle with avocado oil or olive oil and salt and pepper. That's it. And when it comes out, you got a delicious, simple roasted vegetable, and you can do that with so many low-carb options. I love to do that with green beans. We love it with asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage. Like, it's so simple to roast your vegetables with 3 things: avocado oil, salt, and pepper, and they taste wonderful. So it's just a fast way to get a vegetable done while you get your main dish started and probably even finished. Thank you, Tina. You guys are awesome. Is it fresh Parmesan? Is it fresh Parmesan or the canned stuff? I'm personally using this. You can use fresh Parmesan if you want to, but I'm just using this. I think it makes a really good crust in the air fryer. So it's the grated Parmesan, just like you'd put on a pizza, like the shaker thing. I love to use that in the air fryer because it makes a great crust, and you can season it a million different ways. You can use any kind of seasonings with your grated Parmesan. It does not taste like cheese. It actually tastes like you season it. So I love to make seasoning mixes for the air fryer. Makes it fun. It makes things taste different. And I just like it. It really makes a great crust in your air fryer. Now tonight I'm dipping in ranch and then the crust mix. But normally you can do it so many ways. Like you can use you can make an egg wash and do an egg wash, your crust, however you season it, whatever you want to season it with. You can make it spicy, you can make it Italian, you can do all kinds of things. And then another way is just to use your oil. So you could oil down your meat, your pork, your chicken, your turkey, whatever, and then dip it into the crust mix and put it in the air fryer. So I love to use the grated cheese because you can just do so many things with it. I haven't tried pork on this. Oh, Faye, well, you got to try. I love pork chops. We just love pork chops. Hey, Mona, how are you? Oh, Mona did the meatloaf muffins. I love the meatloaf muffins. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the recipes. I did put the recipe in this post. As soon as this live video is over, you will see it's available. Now, I know there's an error in this one. So I'm sorry. My computer's dead and I can't update it right now. I wished I did. But it actually has like a little misspelling in there. So I know it's in there. It's the simplest recipe. You shouldn't even need it in a recipe blog, but I don't want to forget about it. So it's in there so we don't forget about it. It's so easy. Ranch, grated cheese seasoned with parsley, your meat seasoned with salt and pepper. That's it. You take your meat, dip your ranch, dip your crust, air fryer, done. Fast, easy, delicious meal. You could use mayo and parm. Oh yes. You know I love that creamy Parmesan crust. That's another recipe, Connie, that my family constantly asks for. I could cook it every day of the week and they would be happy. We just take mayonnaise and Parmesan cheese. Now I don't use this. I use shredded Parmesan cheese for that and make a creamy Parmesan crust in the air fryer. Delicious. Delicious. All right, guys, if this sounds good to you, if you love the videos because you find some really good information and good recipes and good inspiration and encouragement, make sure you share. Hit the share for me so we can show other people how easy it is to get on board and to eat low carb and to feel their best. This is my 5th year. I'm 5 years in and I absolutely love the way I feel in 5 years. Is it always perfect? Absolutely not. We live in a real world, right? I've got family, I've got work, I've got trauma. We all have the things, but 5 years in, never in my life have I ever been on a program where I actually stuck it out for 5 solid years. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's not a program. I truly have changed the way we cook. I changed the way we look at food. I changed the way I pick things when I go out to eat. I changed everything. And over 5 years, I am so happy that I stuck with this. I'm so happy that I didn't just listen to one person. I actually researched and I found someone that made sense. I found someone that made sense, and this is what they said. I was reading all about keto and I ran across a person who said this. He said, look, a lot of people are all against keto because all they hear about is fat. You got to have all this fat for keto. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that bothers me too. And this is what he said. The fat is to make your food taste great. Okay, the fat is to make your food taste great. You don't focus on fat. You focus on the carbs. You focus on the carbs. You don't focus on the fat. The fat is to make your food taste great. Ranch is going to make the food taste great. The avocado oil makes the food taste great. That's the fat. Now, we didn't come in here and say, oh, you gotta lather this thing up. Like you need 5 different dips of ranch. It's not about adding the fat because in the end, we're trying to lose fat, right? Well, the way we lose fat is to make our food taste great with the healthy fats we're cooking with, but to let our body shred the fat instead of the fat we're eating. So if you're looking at keto, you want to make sure that you talk to somebody who's making sense with what they're teaching you. If people are telling you that you have to fill up this pie graph, and your pie graph says, oh, you ate way too much protein, but you need all this extra fat. I mean, why? How can you eat too much protein and not enough fat? It's got to make sense, okay? So if you're following someone that you're really questioning, it's okay. Listen, because I may teach you something, but also be smart enough to ask yourself questions and to dig a little deeper yourself. That's what I did, and that's why 5 years later, I am so, so happy. And I'm so excited that my family has jumped on board and they all love the food and the recipes are just so great. So I'm excited for 2024 because I know that we're going to find a whole lot of more people that we can actually impact with this page, and that's why I started it. So I know I'm rambling now. I'm waiting on my broccoli. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. It's going to take me about 10 to 12 minutes. Depending on the thickness of your pork, it may take longer. 350 air fry. Guys, we got a great dinner coming out in about 15 minutes, and I will be posting the plated dinner later. I'm having a lot of people right now saying, why aren't you showing the food? They're new to the page. These are live videos. If I pooted right now, you'd hear it. It's a live video. It's not edited. It's not edited. So I can't make this cook in 2 seconds and pull it out and say, oh, it's beautiful. But this is a live video because I love to answer your questions as they come across. I love to have the interaction, and I like to do live videos because it's fun. But now every single night after I cook, I'm going to post a picture of the plated food because you don't want to sit here and just watch me clean up while we're waiting on the food. So I'll always post the food later this evening so you can see it as we're preparing it, and you can see it finished after Rick and I enjoy it. And another thing about that is when I'm cooking live, if I'm doing something different or something new, when I post the picture later, I'm going to post it even if I didn't like it. And I'm going to post it and say, guys, it was good, but next year or the next time, I'm going to do it this way. Or, guys, it was really, really good, but I really think I can make it better. And I'm always going to tell you that I'm not going to follow that recipe again. I'm going to make it different the next time. So I love to do the live videos and be able to tweak the recipes for you as we go. Can you please tell me what kind of pork chops to buy? Catherine, you can use any kind of pork chops. I personally like bone-in pork chops because I think they have more seasoning, but I like to buy the boneless pork chops and the thinner cut pork chops because they cook faster. Because like I'm a busy person, so when I get home, I want to cook, I want to clean, I want to get with my puppies, I want to talk to my husband. So that's kind of why I like to buy thin chops and thin breasts because it just cooks faster. Gwen says, I had to stop. My cholesterol got pretty high. I ended up in the hospital. I don't understand. I know you get good reports except me, so don't try something else. I'm just going to watch you because I love to watch you cook. My daughter lost 79 pounds and is real good, healthy condition. Maybe it's my age. I don't know. So that is such a great comment, Gwen. Thank you so much for sharing with us, first of all. I want to definitely address cholesterol because this is the thing. First of all, we all have cholesterol. So a lot of people will say, oh, my cholesterol has gotten high. You've always had cholesterol. Our body has cholesterol. So when we add foods high in cholesterol, sometimes your cholesterol will elevate. But I will tell you, Gwen, I'm so sorry to hear that about you, but we all have to know that we're all different. So this is something that I found that is working for me. It has been working for me, and I've helped hundreds of people do the same thing, and it's working for them. But we are all different. And sometimes, like my cousin, she is 100% pure, the old traditional food graph, and that's okay because it works for her, and it's okay, it works for her. But most people, Gwen, when they start eating low carb, your body is going to transition. Especially if you're eating low carb, where you're creating ketones, you're really keto. When you go keto, your whole body is going to transition. Everything transitions. So, you know, people talk about the keto flu. It's a good thing if you are experiencing it, even though it sucks. And not everybody experiences. I didn't. But it's a good thing that you're experiencing it because it's showing the transition. It's showing that something's changing. It's not fun, but it's showing you that something's changing and it's worth getting to the other side. But most everybody I've helped win, including myself, I've always had high cholesterol. Ever since I was a little bitty girl, always have had high cholesterol. So when I started doing this, my doctor literally said, oh, well, we got to watch your cholesterol. And I said, okay, that's fine. We'll watch my cholesterol. And the first report came back a little high. And she said, oh, no, your cholesterol is too high. And I was like, okay, but remember, ever since I was a little girl, I've had high cholesterol, so let's watch it. And we literally have watched it every single year. And even though mine has always been high, it's not crazy high, and it has stabilized. So now my doctor gives me my reports, and she'll put on there better than last year. Still high, better than last year. Still high, better than last year. So it's awesome to watch that every year. But away from me, most people who experience a higher cholesterol always levels out. If you guys have experienced that, I'd love to know it. Most everyone I work with, it all levels out. So it may rise up a little bit and then it goes down. It may rise a little bit and then it goes down. But most everyone levels out or even goes lower because your body really does have to make a transition. It is a transition period. So Darlene said, I was told your cholesterol will be higher for the first 3 months, but it will level off. That's great, Darlene, that someone told you that. It's happened that way for most all of my friends who have even experienced the cholesterol issue. Some don't. And also keep this in mind. Like, I have high cholesterol. I have my entire life. It is better now, 5 years in, better now than it ever has before. But just because I love cheese does not mean you guys have to eat a lot of cheese. Like, I love cheese. Like, I love cheese. It reminds me of Oprah and her commercial that I love bread. I love cheese. That doesn't mean you have to eat cheese. Like, I love using the grated Parmesan. You don't have to. You can use other substitutes. There's other ways to make your air fryer crust. So you don't have to do everything I do. You can always tweak it. Like, I love steak. I love steak. That is primarily my date night go-to is steak. I love red meat. That doesn't mean you have to eat red meat every day. It doesn't mean you have to eat red meat at all. You can eat low carb and keto and never touch red meat. So all of us are a little different. And I'm so glad you brought this up, Gwen. I hope this is helping you guys. Tina says, hubby is no longer on cholesterol meds. That's most of my friends. After doing keto for a year, first month it increased, then it came down lower, and it's never gone back up. No more statins. That's amazing. Praise the Lord, she said. Praise God. That's great, Tina, and that's what most people experience. But again, Gwen, all of us are different, and it's okay. You just have to find what works for you, what makes you feel the best. Emily said if I wasn't on kidney dialysis, I would do it, but I'm going to do some of it. And Emily, talk to your doctor. This is the thing. If you guys are getting my getting started tips, I highly recommend you take these tips to your doctor, because a lot of times when you say, oh, I'm going to eat keto, they're like, oh, no, don't eat keto, because they don't know what it is. They just hear the bad things. But if you bring these tips, there's not very many doctors who are going to tell you, oh, yeah, eat all the sugar you want. Or there's nothing wrong with eating chocolate every night. There's nothing wrong with having glasses of wine every night. There's nothing wrong with, all these things. But in reality, most doctors are going to say, oh, well, that's a good tip. Okay, well, that's a good idea. Like if you tell them what you're going to do, then they'll say, well, I think that's a good idea. But for you, because of this, they can help you kind of tweak it. So if you've got chronic conditions, you should always consult your doctor and tell them what you're going to be doing, so that they can help you with that. Patty said, what is the keto flu? Oh, the keto flu. Oh, Patty, it's no fun. The keto flu is a real thing. It actually can feel just like the flu. It is the transition period from when you are getting into ketosis, from taking the carbs out of your body. Not everyone experiences it. You can actually prep for it. I prepped for it. I did a lot of research. I prepped for it. But it can be all different sorts of things, or all of the things. So some people get really sick to their stomach. Some people experience a lot of diarrhea. Some people get fever. Some people get a keto rash. They call it the keto rash, where their neck or their body part can break out into a rash. Again, it's a transition. That toxin is coming out, your body is transitioning, and you can experience some bad side effects of that. It does not always happen. You can take care of it by making sure that you're using a good electrolyte supplement. You're replacing your white table salt with a good mineral salt, like a Redmond's Real Salt or a pink Himalayan salt, because it has extra minerals in it to salt all of your foods. Even put it in your water. Drinking a lot of water also will help you stay away from that keto flu. So there are some things you can do to avoid the keto flu, but this is the main thing. If you experience it, keep going. It is worth getting on the other side. It is so worth getting on the other side. And the only time you'd experience it again is if you decided, to heck with this, I'm going to eat all the pizza and pasta I want to, and then come back a month later sick because you've eaten all the pizza and pasta, and then you want to start over. And when you start over, your body goes to that detox again. So that is if you're lowering that carb count so low that your body is transitioning into those states of ketosis. That's just, I hope that's good information. I hope that helped. Catherine, don't you have to be more concerned about triglycerides only? Mine is a bit high, but triglycerides are normal. So there's a good thing. There's a thing that doctors should be educating you on, and that's, good cholesterol versus the bad cholesterol. And 100% find some doctors that are educating you, because there's so much more to potential heart problems besides cholesterol. Cholesterol does not mean you're having heart problems. There is so many other traces, other factors that go in to determine that there's actually a health issue. But yes, there is what they call good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. There's nothing wrong with high cholesterol. Here we go, Patricia. Your body needs cholesterol. That's why your body has cholesterol. Everybody has cholesterol. It's your triglycerides that have to be low, like below the 1.0. Cardiologists are finally starting to get it. Thank you, Patricia. But it's going to take a long time, because it's not even just the narrative, Patricia. It's the education. Like, physicians only go through nutrition one time. I don't know if y'all know this. To get your medical license, a doctor goes through one nutrition class. That is it. That class has been taught for ever, like all the way back in the 60s and the 50s. I mean, that class is still being taught. There's one nutrition class. So if a doctor wants to know more about nutrition and health, they have to go after that education. They have to find time to keep up with everything they have to do and the education they're required to do, and then find more time to get more education. And doctors have to do that because they want to. it's not that your doctors don't want to take care of you. It's a lot. Like, there is a lot. So it's not necessarily the narrative. It's just the fact that that's how they're taught. That's how they're born and raised as a physician. And they really have to seek out more education if that's what they want, because the one education class is all they have to have for nutrition, which I think is crazy, but it is what it is. Rita says, have issues with high blood pressure and GI issues, concerned that I can't do the ketones. So Rita, we're talking about the keto, we're talking about eating right now. Rita, I think, is actually talking about, sorry Frankie, so I stepped on your ear. Rita's actually talking about drinking ketones, which you guys know I love and love my ketones. They work. They taste great. They work. Now, Rita, with GI issues, if you've got a constant GI issue already, you could potentially hit that keto flu, but just because you drink ketones or eat a very low keto diet doesn't mean that it's going to give you worse symptoms. I mean, that's already an issue. High blood pressure, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a physician. Y'all know this, but friends, as you jump on here, I know you tell people all the time, what has happened to your health since you've been eating lower carb and or drinking ketones? Like, everything's better. Everything is better. Everything is better. It's awesome. So I can't tell you, I can't tell you that things about a doctor. I just can't tell you that because I'm not a doctor, but always ask questions. Will you message me where you bought Frankie Sue? Frankie Sue's my baby girl. I actually got her here local in Lexington, Tennessee. And I don't know if I really don't know if she breeds them all the time, but I know she did have another litter. I love my Frankie Sue. Can you drink the Nat, or do you have to drink them slow? Emily, when you drink your ketones, when you're drinking my ketones, you want to drink them within 35 to 40 minutes. For them to work though properly, for them to put you in ketosis without the keto diet, then you want to drink them within 35, 40 minutes at the most. I got it bad, but I stuck with it, and now I'm glad. 25 pounds. Rebecca's saying she had the keto flu. She stuck through it, got through it. 25 pounds now. That's awesome. Your brain uses a lot of cholesterol. Yes. You guys are already educated. I love it. See, you guys are already educating yourselves. I just love it. Ketone drinks so expensive. Robin, they're 100% not required. We talk about that all the time. They are amazing. If you need the extra help and you have seen the benefits of ketones that work, they're worth every penny. I know they could seem expensive because you're not buying a drink at a time like you would at Starbucks or you would at a gas station, but they 100% are worth every penny because the actual benefits of drinking them, the health changes, the medication issues, like all the things, like it's worth. How long can the keto flu happen? I mean, everybody's different. So it could be a couple of weeks just like the flu. It can be fast. It can be avoided. So look at these, guys. Oh my gosh. That looks amazing. Let me take this camera off the stand. Look at these. This looks so yummy. I mean, give me some hearts if that doesn't, I mean, if that looks good. Like, I'm excited to eat now. Let's see. Any other questions before I check on this broccoli? I hope you guys have had a great day. And look at that broccoli. Man, we are ready for dinner. We're ready for some din-din. I will post the finished picture, even though you guys are actually seeing the finished food, since y'all have some great questions. Thank you for the conversation. I always love to make sure I'm helping. So if I'm helping, that's what this is for. So if you got anything beneficial from this video, please share. Please share the video so we can teach other people and bring other people on board, because my goal is just to help people feel their best, to reach that 5-year mark like I did and not feel like you're on a diet where you're depriving yourself or you're unhappy. Like, this is something I did for myself, and I'm just so happy I stuck with it. I'm happy I kept learning. I'm happy I kept investigating recipes, and like, I'm just so happy. So I just want to help other people get to the same place. If y'all need any help, make sure you reach out to me, but I'm gonna get off here and eat dinner. Bye guys.